So on behalf of VF Franchise Consulting and SURECLEAN, I would like to welcome you all to our webinar today. Don't know yet, my name is Robert Beausoleil and I'll be MC for this webinar today. We'll be happy to introduce our guest speaker shortly, Mr. Sean. Just a few things to remember before we get started. We will have a question and answer session after the presentation. Due to the large number of participants we expect, please type your questions into your device. You can enter your questions at any time by clicking on the small question mark at the bottom right hand of your screen. You will not be able to speak during this webinar. We will also follow up with you in the next few days via email with the SURECLEAN information that we reviewed today. So keep a lookout for your email and please let us know if you don't receive it. So before we introduce our guest speaker, we'd like to show you a short video about SURECLEAN. I'd like to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Sean Ngo. He is the CEO of VF Franchise Consulting and the international representative of SURECLEAN. And now we'd like to hand over the webinar to Mr. Sean.
Again, my name is Sean Ngo. I am the CEO of VF Franchise Consulting, and our company is the international franchise representative for SURECLEAN. We thank you for joining us today. It is perhaps a very timely webinar given the times that we are in. We will not mention the big elephant in the room, which is obviously the coronavirus. Lots of things are changing, but of course, I think this is probably one of the best times to talk about leading hygiene and disinfection franchise like SURECLEAN. SURECLEAN was founded in Singapore many years ago, and it is a leader when it comes to hygiene and disinfection, and specifically for the child care industries. Although you will see that SURECLEAN actually is very active in providing services from a B2C as well as a B2B format. The video that you just saw was clearly a B2B format where we are providing home cleaning services, home disinfection services. But traditionally, SureClean has excelled at the B2B market as well. And when you look at that B2B market, the global market for this industry is actually quite big. It is growing to about $23 billion by the year 2022. Now, these numbers have not been updated based on the current situation that we are in. Clearly, it will be bigger in the coming weeks, in the coming years. And of course, the awareness for the need for hygiene and disinfection will likely stay with us for a long time to come. Uh, Here are some of the reasons why we think a Shore Clean franchise may be attractive for you as a potential franchisee. It is a recession proof business. In any type of economy, hygiene and disinfection is clearly a constant need. And for those of you who already are in franchising, and perhaps you are in franchising sectors such as F&B, for example, you will note that in a typical service franchise, if done correctly and executed well, you will tend to get higher profit margins and faster return on investments. This is obviously a generalization. Every situation is different, every market is different, but in general, we have found that services and even education franchises have tended to be a better profitability business than many F&B businesses. As mentioned earlier, SureClean has been around for quite a while now in Singapore. The brand is well known. And not only is it well known in Singapore today, we currently have very successful franchisees in Hong Kong. And you can imagine, obviously, that particular market and the similarities to Singapore and the opportunities there from a B2B as well as a B2C is very attractive. And recently, also, we have expanded into Bangkok, Thailand as well. And clearly, today we are looking to find the right franchisees throughout Southeast Asia. So whether you are in Indonesia, Malaysia, Myanmar, the Philippines, or Taiwan, clearly this may be an opportunity for you. And also many other things that you would find in a very comprehensive and developed franchise, meaning a wide range of products and services. So SureClean not only provides the products, but provides the services. And you will see a little bit later uh, some certifications about the safety of the products themselves and etc. So who uses SureClean? Practically every business you can think of may have a need for SureClean. We mentioned earlier, SureClean does extremely well in the education sector in Singapore. They also can also service medical establishments, all kinds of hospitals, clinics, from dental offices to optometrists to veterinarians to senior assisted care types of centers. Any type of clinic or medical facility is a clear potential customer of SureClean. Even in the F&B industry, because of their products and the safety certifications that they have to be able to treat kitchens, whether it is a commercial kitchen or whether it is a residential kitchen, and to be safe to use near food. In every type of hospitality industry, every type of transportation business, and of course, you cannot forget things like office towers, businesses, offices, and increasingly today, with disposable incomes rising virtually across the board throughout Asia, everybody has been enjoying, an increasing healthy lifestyle, as well as additional recreational facilities, specifically for young people. Who are some of the SureClean clients today that we have in Singapore? Here is a very small sample of it. Uh, as we mentioned earlier, when it comes to childcare and children's businesses, these are clearly a huge opportunity that we see in the marketplace for SureClean franchisees. And it makes sense because as parents, as businesses, we are very, very concerned with young people, and the fact that young people get dirtier than most is obviously quite a good opportunity for this type of business. But of course, like we mentioned, and as we will see in the following presentation, short clean products and services can be applied to virtually any industry. So, what does SureClean do? What are their products? What are their services? So it begins with the products. Obviously, even simple things when it comes to hand sanitizers, right? All these products provide hygiene and disinfection. They're certified to do so. And as you'll see in the following slides, they can be placed in restrooms and bathrooms of any business, of any facility within your own home. It can be here you can see here again in the shower and in the bathrooms, etc. In addition to that, there are professional services that SureClean can provide to businesses that cater to, in this particular case, a classroom. And you can see the gentleman there from SureClean is using a special equipment that SureClean provides that basically will use their solutions to spray onto the surfaces of all of the things that are in that particular room. And using nanotechnology, which we can explain a little bit later, uh, the products that come out the spray that comes out of these machines are binding to the surfaces of anything it touches. And in addition to that, the solution that is sprayed onto these surfaces will bind quite efficiently because it is ionized to be a negative charge. And it turns out everything in that room or in any room is positively charged. So that attraction ensures that that binding onto the surface is very effective in containing and eliminating germs. Here you can see again additional services in children's playgrounds areas. You can see the ping pong table there. Perhaps that might be an employee break room. Again, in any situation, the products and services are available. And in this case here, again, an office environment, um, additional children's playgrounds, again, a lifestyle recreational facility. One of the key things also that SureClean provides to clients is the option of automating this particular service. So instead of a team from SureClean coming out to your premises, whether it's your office, your home, we can provide you with this what we call an automated disinfection system, an ADS system. And in this ADS system, what will happen is it will spray out into a room that will completely cover the room within 15 to 20 minutes and disinfect the room. How does it do that? It can cover up to a thousand cubic meters. Now, if the room that you want to disinfect is smaller, the machine allows for you to adjust that size reduction so that it covers it completely, but also sufficiently and does not over disinfect, I should say. It is a non-wetting disinfection. It is safe. In fact, it is safe for children. It is approved by the National Environmental Agency in Singapore. The products have been tested. In fact, that is the equivalent to the EPA certification in America, which is the National Environmental Protection Agency. One of the key products that SureClean has been selling very, very successfully to clients has been what they call their Titan Clean service. And their Titan Clean service basically allows for an antibacterial coating that protects the surface for an entire year. And it is based on this titanium dioxide a mixture that allows for it to have a semi-permanent bind on any surfaces it touches. And so it is quite a unique service. But again, it just depends on what type of service your business or your home needs. There are solutions for 30 days, and of course, there are solutions for the entire year through this particular service. Here you can see some additional cleaning at a hotel. In this particular case here, if you are familiar with Singapore and Sentosa, it is the Hard Rock Cafe Hotel. And one of the interesting things here with this particular cleaning, with this particular client, has been that in the old days, this particular hotel accommodated a lot of smokers in smoking rooms. And so SureClean was chosen to provide this service to the hotel and on a regular basis where we not only come in and disinfect the hotel premises, but we're also to remove a lot of the odors that come from things like smoking. So very effective, not only in through disinfection, but also removing certain odors as well. And here, of course, you saw the video where it was very, very focused on the residential market. What we have found over the last couple of years is that there is a growing need for the residential services. People come to expect that when they go into a public facility, when they go into an office or a medical clinic, that those service providers are providing some sort of protection from germs and bacteria. What happens a lot of times, though, is that the person's home has actually never been disinfected and has never been cleaned to an extent where it allows for a constant elimination and destruction of germs whether that means for 30 days or 365 days. So, what we are finding is that there is a booming demand in the household for this type of service. And it goes without saying that in these times, this demand has only mushroomed manyfold. Here you can see shore clean products being applied to a commercial kitchen, and again, other commercial specific areas. And again, this is a medical facility. It goes without saying that there is a urgent and dire need for these types of services, which is year round. And of course, in places like Singapore, we provide this service to even ambulances. So when it comes to the home, there's a few unique services that we provide. One of them is mattress cleaning. In the video, you may have seen a little bit of that in action. So basically, we do a deep clean using proprietary equipment that SureClean will provide to its franchisees, and of course, utilizing SureClean hygiene and disinfection products. Um, it turns out that everybody pretty much sleeps on a mattress, in this part of the world. And it turns out also that virtually no one has ever disinfected their mattresses. And so you can see here a before and after. Here you see the after shot where we are disinfecting the entire mattress, and the dust mites and the dust that is actually on top and inside the mattress. We're able to do a very, very good deep clean to disinfect the mattress. You can imagine that this type of business is very relevant to many hospitality industries, whether you are in the hotel business, whether you are in the service residences business, whether you are in daycare centers for seniors, for example, and of course, inside a person's home. And then, of course, like we mentioned, we have a 30-day protection program, which is called our Germ Clean 30-day protection. And this can be provided every month and be provided at any facility uh, of choice. The Titan 365 year-round protection we mentioned earlier. And here you can see that protection being applied to, in this particular case, a child's bedroom. And of course, everything that we do gets our unique certification. It allows for, uh, a constant reminder to customers of when we provided the service and when that next service is due. As they say, hygiene was important 10 years ago. It will be important for the next 100 years and more, right? And again, it goes to say without saying that the need for this type of service and the awareness that consumers have, that businesses have for the need to have a safe, germ-free environment is higher than it's ever been. Now, everybody has been waiting for this particular slide, so we will get to it in just a minute. Clearly, there is a huge opportunity for your particular territory. And of course, these are the estimated fees. Now, it is going to be different between different territories. If you are interested in Jakarta, for example, that is different than all of Indonesia, right? If you are interested In Manila, for example, it will be different than for the island of Luzon or for the entire Philippines. So again, these are ranges, and uh, the specifics for each specific territory will be discussed with you on a one-on-one call. And as Robert mentioned earlier, after this call, after this presentation, we will be following up with you with a direct email to advise of next steps. But in general, what we find is that you will need initially, once you become a franchisee, to have products and equipment ordered so that you may implement and provide the service to your particular territory. There is a term, and the license term is 5 years plus a 5 year renewal. And again, we can share more details with you on that once you engage with us on a one-on-one basis. There will be advertising and promotion like any business. Every business needs to do some sort of marketing. And SureClean and yourself as the franchisee for your specific territory will agree to a certain amount of advertising and marketing that you will do in your own local market. So this is something that you are not going to pay SureClean, but you will commit to spending in order to promote and grow the business successfully. Every franchise system requires a royalty. SureClean is the same. And in this particular case, it is 1,200 US dollars per month or 7% of sales, whichever is higher. And in this particular case, and depending on the territory that you wish to be granted the SureClean franchise, there may be some sub-franchising opportunities. If there are sub-franchising opportunities, SureClean will provide those master franchise rights and the ability to sub-franchise. The franchise package, of course, includes many different things. There is a very comprehensive 5 day training. All training will be done in Singapore, and it will cover everything from A to Z, from business operations to products to the sales and marketing aspect to operating the business with hands on experience, hands on training to the delivery, and of course, other marketing and promotion. In addition to that, there is continued assistance. There are annual visits by the franchisor to the franchisee. And one of the most beautiful things about a franchise that is located in Singapore is the fact that it is very, very centrally located. We work with many different brands all around the world. And one of the major obstacles that some of these brands have is the fact that their operations team, their training team, their marketing team, their support team, their just business advisors, they are halfway around the world. And with SureClean, that is clearly not the case. And the support structure and the timeliness of that support is very, very crucial to any franchisee's success. In fact, that is probably one of the most, if not the most important factor for franchising success worldwide. So now we have come to the end of the presentation. We will now open this up to Q&As. Again, as Robert mentioned, you may submit these Q&A questions through your phone or through your app or through your computer, and we will address them one by one.
So thank you very much, Sean, for providing us all that useful information about SureClean. So I think I can speak on behalf of everyone that we appreciated the information. So as Sean mentioned, it's now time for the Q&A session. So remember, you can ask Sean your questions by just typing them into your device. You will not be able to ask them verbally. So you do that by just clicking on the question mark in the bottom right-hand part of your screen, and we'll get to the questions one by one. So we have some questions already, so we can begin.
So, Danes Limson asks, are the solutions safe? Are they organic? It is absolutely safe. It is approved by the NEA and a bunch of other, health and safety organizations in Singapore already. And it is actually in the franchise presentation. It is not organic to the best of our knowledge. We can double check that with SureClean executives, but we do not believe it is organic, though it is very safe. And it is approved by the Singaporean government to be used in locations where children congregate, as well as in the kitchens of F&B establishments. So we know it is quite safe. Very good question. Okay. So Rania asks, does SureClean have online ordering, or do I have to create myself for my area? Again, very good question. In fact, in Singapore and in other places, SureClean does offer their products online, and people can order them. So SureClean will work with you for your particular territory to advise on that type of platform that you can begin to offer online the products that you provide to your specific consumers and to your specific territory. Jimmy asked, how about training and support outside Singapore? Very good question. So, in general, what we like to advise franchisees is that they will need to train a minimum of three key people on their team. Usually, that consists of the owner, an operations manager, and somebody in sales and marketing. And that training, as mentioned a little bit earlier, it will be 5 days of intensive training in Singapore in a classroom environment uh, as well as in a hands-on, on-the-job training program as well. It will cover everything from the daily business operations to understanding the products and how to market and sell those products. It will involve the delivery, how we deliver the products, as well as any other marketing and programs that SureClean has used effectively, in that particular market, in markets like Singapore as well as Hong Kong. Hopefully that answers your question. And of course, again, we can provide more details uh, when we speak one-on-one. How can a product continue to work for 30 days or 30 or 365 days? Again, a very good question. Um, the products in general have something called silver and titanium dioxide. These are active ingredients that are in the disinfectants that have a residual protection of the surface that it binds for either 30 or 365 days. As mentioned during the franchise presentation, the germ clean products in a lab environment is able to also treat bacteria and germs, including different strains of the coronavirus, and has been proven to be effective 99.9% of the time and for a period of 30 days, or in the case of the Titan service, for 365 days. Selena asks, what do you think the biggest challenges will be for me to do this in the Philippines? Well, I think the biggest challenge of entering any new market is the same, very similar, whether it is the Philippines or Vietnam or Malaysia or Cambodia. And it has to do with the fact that are you able to recruit the people necessary that will execute your service and provide the products and services, in a manner that is professional, affordable, and again, that affordability factor becomes a big factor because obviously the products and services in Singapore are priced higher because of the economics of a market like Singapore. But when you bring it to places like the Philippines, for example, those prices have to be adjusted, obviously. But then again, the cost structure is also very different because labor costs, for example, are very different between Singapore and the Philippines. All in all, we think, as long as the products are being priced competitively, the products, as we know it, is very comprehensive. It is a proven product, and it is certified product. So it really is, a product and service where if we have the right entrepreneur, the right business person who knows how to effectively execute the business plan, we believe there is a good opportunity in any market, whether that is the Philippines or Vietnam, for that matter. Okay, T asked, have you got any franchisees in Vietnam yet? We are in discussions with different groups, different individuals, and that applies to not only Vietnam. I see the next question was for Malaysia as well. So again, we are in talks with different groups for all of these markets. So at for the time being, it is available for Vietnam. It is available for Malaysia and possibly your market as well. Okay, the next question is, what are the next steps if I want to proceed? Absolutely. So, very good question. The kind of question that we hope for in any webinar. And so, the next step is basically Robert and the VF team will be in contact with you to via email to advise you of the next steps. But basically, what that entails is we will send you more information. We will send you the franchise presentation that we just did. You will have a link to this webinar in case you wish to review or in case you wish to share with your business partners. And then there will be a franchise application and a confidentiality agreement. Once you complete the franchise application and a confidentiality agreement, we will then be able to schedule a call with SureClean executives to discuss your questions and also the next steps thereafter. The question we have from Ted Keen Mient, I'm sorry if I mispronounced it, is any franchises in Myanmar? In fact, our team was just in Yangon, I believe, about 2 weeks ago. And we did meet up with quite a few groups. And we did discuss SureClean with quite a few of those groups. It is not too late to register your interest in the franchise. And at this point, it is available for Myanmar, for Yangon, and certainly other cities if you have the capabilities to develop them in that particular country. Danes Limson says we have local apps who are doing that here, like Gowan.ph and others. I guess there's really a demand for it. Well, that's interesting. The our perspective has always been that the more competition, the better, because competition proves there is a market for the products and services. And so, what we would look for is a franchisee who understands how we are different, the services and how we offer them, how we provide not only the products but the services in a very professional format, the formats that we can provide it, the venues that we can provide it, whether it is B2B or B2C. So that ability to cover many different areas when it comes to hygiene and disinfection and having a capable partner with a proven brand will ultimately mean success. And certainly the market is there. Now, in many markets, not everybody is going to need or require short clean products and services. It is not a cheap, low end solution. We are not trying to provide this service to everybody, but we do have a particular market segment that we know that have been reliable customers for our products and services. Selena asks, "Can I sub-franchise later on?" So again, that is a discussion that we can have one-on-one. So one of the discussions will be is, uh, do you want to have an area development agreement, an area franchise agreement, which means one particular area, or do you want to have multiple areas? And if you want to have multiple areas, which areas do you want to build the business on your own? And which areas do you wish to potentially sub-franchise? So that question can be answered on a case by case basis. T asks, how do you build a customer? For example, hotel, do you bill by square meter? The short answer is it is depending upon the size of the facility, but again, it is in some instances it is on a case by case basis because an office is different from a home, and it certainly is different from a children's playground or education center. So, ShoreClean has had to develop this type of pricing structure for different businesses in different sectors, and we will be able to share that with you once we have the confidentiality agreement and the franchise agreements returned to us. Huyen Chan Nam asks, what is the business gross margin percentage and what business size we will get break even point? Again, very, very good questions, very detailed questions. And these are the questions that we can clearly share with you once we receive the franchise application as well as the confidentiality agreement. That said, being in the service sector, this tends to be And certainly in Singapore and Hong Kong, a very good high margin business. It's a high gross margin. It is also a high net margin business overall. Jimmy asks something to the same effect. Do you have finance analytics of a sample franchisee, average revenue, how long franchisee gets back their ROI? Again, very, very good questions. So once we have that franchise application and signed confidentiality agreement, we will be able to share with you a pro forma P&L that you will adjust for your specific marketplace. And from there, you will see what the revenue potential is for your particular territory, and when break even is, and when will you get your ROI. Kimberly Perez asks, is the investment of 50,000 to 100,000 for products and equipment only? What else is included? A very good question. Yes, that is only pertaining to the initial order of products and equipment. Obviously, you need the products in order to sell. The other fees are the royalty that we mentioned earlier in the franchise presentation of 7% or 1,200 US dollars, whichever is higher on a monthly basis. There are franchise fees. And again, those franchise fees will depend on the territory that you are interested in for your particular marketplace. For example, if that is Manila, that will be a different franchise fee from the island of Luzon, for example, or it will be a different franchise fee from the entire country of the Philippines. Danes ask, how about the Philippines? Again, it is available for the Philippines. We are in discussions with groups, but at this stage, we would invite any qualified investor and franchisee who wish to explore this opportunity for the Philippines. Clearly, this product and in these times works well in the Philippines as well as it works anywhere else in the world. Selena asks, seems a very good time to start. How long does the whole process take from when I decide? Okay, so a very good question. That process depends on you as the investor franchisee. So if you are quick with your reply in terms of completing a franchise application and an NDA, a confidentiality agreement, we will send you more details. We will then begin to answer your detailed questions. Many of them, I am sure, will be financial based. And as you build your business plan, and depending on how fast you can build that business plan and present it to SureClean executives, if we are in agreement, then we will proceed to signing a franchise agreement and begin things such as training in Singapore, as well as sharing with you the next steps in terms of importing the products into your local territory. So I think we are at the end of this hour webinar. Um, I thank you for taking the time out of your very busy schedule. We had a lot of interest. We continue to have a lot of interest in this franchise from all across Asia. We continue to encourage you that if you believe in this sector, if you believe in the opportunities that it represents, to indeed respond to our follow-up emails, and then we will take it to the next step. And lastly, please stay healthy, please stay safe, and May all this go away very, very soon for everybody. So now I will hand it back over to Robert.
So thank you very much, Sean, for that, letting us know all about SureClean. And we'd like to thank everyone for attending. Our company, VF Franchise Consulting, offers a wide variety of franchises in food and beverage, education, services, retail, and we regularly run business matching events and these types of webinars to share information with people like you. And we look forward to following up with you on a more detailed basis in the next few days. So please keep an eye out for an email from me. If you don't receive it, maybe it went to spam. So please let us know. So thank you. Have a great day. Stay safe. And we'll talk to you again.